Hello everyone, welcome to the Star Wars Now podcast. I'm of course Captain Jack, and welcome back as we discuss Chapter 7 of the Book of Boba Fett. I'm joined by my co-host as per usual, Mr. YoungObiWan. How you doing?
I'm good.
I looked at you for a second, just forgot your name. I was going to go for Mr. Young Homie.
Mr. Young Homie.
my young homie. I'm Amy. Yeah. And we're joined by our special guest today, Amy. How you doing?
Hi, I'm here because I worked on this thing.
You worked on the Book of Boba Fett. Like, there's no dancing around that subject.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit bizarre because it was like my second job ever after graduating, so I was a bit like, oh shit, I'm doing this now.
But I certainly want to tell people in the future is like, what do you do after leaving uni? I worked on a Disney show, the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, it was like so weird because I was just like under like NDA for so long, so I was just like, I don't know what to do because I was like, I have this secret, I have this secret, I have this secret. I mean, they're all out now, so I don't know why I'm saying this secret, but
they're like a long transcript and they're all just redacted.
Yeah, basically.
I've been working on the thingy where the thingy appears, and maybe that thingy happens, and then the thingy used the thingy. It's basically
it's in a universe where things happen, and some people die and some people don't die, and there is a storyline to be followed, but it's kind of confusing.
Of course, the big character you helped light was on screen today, wasn't it?
Yeah. So there's the shot like in the first like 5 minutes where he was like walking on, and I like lit just like the outside bit where he just like walks in, because I think I literally joined in like right at the end of everything. So like what I did was like, well, I would say what I did was super minor, but then one of my assets was in like the end credit scene, so
we'll discuss the end credit scene as well, because I think that's a good like curve point. But
yes.
This was the scalpel, wasn't it? Yeah, we'll go backwards. This is the scalpel, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a scalpel that was in
that appeared in chapter 4.
Yeah, it was in 4 in the mod shop, and then they used it, and like it doesn't not have a cool name. Like I think in the audio description it was just called like self-cauterizing scalpel, so that's what it's called. So
the self-cauterizing scalpel. Okay, it needs like the Type 44 scalpel or something. It needs like some sort of technical name.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's not really
spicy blade.
Spicy blade. But, like, it's a very, like, medical, like, blade, because, I mean, we had this whole thing when, I was designing it, and, like, the idea that it was, like, supposed to, they were like, yeah, we want a sword that lights up, and they were like, but it can't look like the Darksaber, and I'm just like, everything I apparently did looked like a Darksaber, and I was like, but it's in red.
To be fair, a red Darksaber, I would.
Yeah.
Jon Favreau's probably already got a version of that, though. Someone out there has now apparently got a red Darksaber.
No, you go into his bedroom and he's just got like Darksabers all around, but they're all different colours. Picks one for each different day to kill a different...
Another junior Disney exec who failed me. In the Clone Wars when they
got my coffee wrong!
In the Clone Wars when they first introduced Pre Vizsla, like he lands with a jetpack and like he's in his armour, and there's like a Mandalorian soldier on the floor who's like been defeated by Kenobi. And he's like, sir, and he goes, failure, bang! That's going to be Jon Favreau to the next Disney exec who fails. What? You put microphone and blue jeans guy in the Mandalorian? Failure.
I don't care if it's a meme.
You were worth your time. You were a worthy distraction. Because of course the scalpel appeared in chapter 7 as well. You didn't expect this, did you?
No, I wasn't, because I was like, I did the scalpel and I was like, I didn't know why they made me do so many of it. Like, so basically I did like 10 different like blade shapes, and I was like, I don't know why we're spending so much time on this. It's like a 4 second shot, which I then also like lit as well. I was like, I don't know, and they were like, oh yeah, can you like package up that asset for us because we want to use it somewhere else. I was like, okay, yeah. Hadn't seen it, the entire thing. Episode 7 ended and I was like, oh, I never saw it. Was I being stupid? Like, did I miss it? End of credit scene comes. I'm like, oh, they're holding the scalpel. And I was like, everyone's going to see that like a million times. I was like, oh, this is exciting.
That end credit scene is already being discussed massively online. I think I've seen a scalpel mentioned once or twice. I know CNET may have mentioned it, and Den of Nerds as well. So Den of Geeks. But that ending scene as well. What did you think of this? Post-credit scene. With Vamp.
I think it was very good. I was actually very excited because when the people of Freetown come in and they're talking about how he was gunned down, I was like, oh, so they actually did just do him dirty and kill him off. Like, even though he got shot in the shoulder. But I think, yeah, an end credit scene is very cool to know that they didn't just kill him off and they are going to bring him back. And it seems more like they're going to use him as a way to get Boba and Fennec out of Tatooine itself and probably get them onto the next thing, whether that's a new episode of The Mandalorian or
So I had an interesting little theory about Cobb Vanth, and I'm writing this video, so hopefully the video's out on my channel by now, so if you've watched it and made it here, well done. But this is Rangers of the New Republic. Now that series we know is in the depths of development hell due to obviously getting rid of one actress. What if now we need a new Marshal of the New Republic, we already have the Marshal.
Mm.
I'm saying drawing a connection because Timothy Olyphant, fantastic actor as well, and he clearly loves Star Wars being in it. So if he got his own show, I'd love to see that.
Yeah,
imagine him going around just another space cowboy, like blowing things up, because he can base himself out of Tatooine. So, and they've already got all the props and assets for Mos Espa.
Yeah,
most of it is just like CGI anyway.
I know, we did the
There you go.
I was like, not me, but some of the people in my studio, like we did like a bunch of the like Mos. We basically had like the whole Mos Eisley bit.
Yeah, because it's Mos Eisley and Mos Espa. Yeah.
So it was also very funny because then there was like the asset that was named like the Pike Syndicate, and I was like, the Pike Syndicate is involved in this.
We made it chapter 7, still no bloody Crimson Dawn.
I know,
No.
disappointed. What was the point of putting it in the music?
I don't know whether that was intentionally. There's got to be a reason that was done somehow, like, because it's not Boba Fett's theme.
Well, you still got because like obviously the Pike Syndicate are under like the control of Crimson Dawn, so like, and I'm assuming because we had like end of credits scene, I'm like it's gonna be included somehow, whether it's like another season of Boba Fett or incorporated into Mando or whatever.
I was reckoning it'd be a hint. Like I thought at the very end when I was like, everything's happy now. The post-credit scene would be like Kira, older, maybe played by another actress, like stepping foot onto it, or like in the like at the end of Solo when Maul appears, they'd have like maybe a Pike leader reporting to Crimson like, I failed you. It's like, fine, I'll deal with it doing a Thanos, I'll deal with it myself or something like
and
that.
And she shoots him.
She said failure, but that's basically Star Wars 101 now, is it? Failure.
And if someone fails you just shoot them.
I mean, it's a good tactic.
Smack.
Smack. But also this episode we've got Grogan returning. He made his choice apparently, or whether Luke just booted him out of the temple. We don't really know.
Angry robotic
I
Luke.
don't know if I said this on like podcast last week. If I was Luke, I'd probably have accidentally booted Grogu once or twice.
You said he's definitely bootable. I think it was. He's the right size.
He's the
and
right
shape
size.
for kicking.
I feel like it is animal abuse here, so this is already going into the subject. But you could just really run up and take a running kick.
I was just laughing when like they were walking side by side. He was using the Force to like take him along because I was like, that was clearly like not even like. Just like it's really funny because it's clearly like a choice having to be done by the team because the limitation of that puppets is they were like, shit, how do they go on a walk together? And it's like they don't walk at the same pace, even if Luke walks at like the slowest speed possible. And you're like, quick, put them on a zip line.
It was like in Star Wars, Yoda used to float around on the pod. Like he used to have a floaty chair to go around on, didn't he? Because he couldn't move. It makes perfect sense. Only when he's like on crack does he manage to jump around off the wall. Apparently, but.
Well, I mean, we all get like that when we're on a little bit of crack.
Grogu on crack?
It's the Jedi drug. We don't do death sticks.
It's a weird
all about
night
crack.
out, but suddenly Hamish is bouncing around the walls of what he thinks is a green lightsaber, but it's actually a neon tube. What the hell? It's a glow stick.
He keeps yelling, "I'm Kenobi."
When you go on a rave and you receive the glow sticks and you're just like, yeah!
Kenobi! That's
Hello
one
there.
thing I did expect at the end of Chapter 7. Was I thought we was going to get a tease for Kenobi.
Or it's just something.
Just something other than, by the way, Cobb Vamp's alive, and here's a guy with really cool funky hair and a laser scalpel.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of expected them to hint towards either Bad Batch or like a new season of Boba Fett being like, we are going to continue it, or the next episode, next season of Mandalorian. I say next episode like it wasn't already in this one.
It's all the same. Like, it's just like, it's that whole thing of like, Boba Fett isn't really I mean, it is a spin-off of Mandalorian, but there's basically 2 episodes of The Mandalorian in the middle of it, so it's like, if you watch The Mandalorian, you kind of need to go watch Boba Fett now, bye.
It is billed as The Mandalorian 2.5 in a sense. That is how, realistically, we should have seen it coming, because Robert Rodriguez, who is sort of the series director, and obviously directed the opening episode, number 3, I think, and obviously this episode, he always said from the start, it is basically Mandalorian 2.5. Pretty sure Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni collaborated as comments as well. So we should have expected it from the get-go, but obviously it's called the Book of Boba Fett. You thought there would be more focus on Boba Fett. And I think that's where like the whole anticlimactic sort of impression comes from. Because this episode, we were back with obviously Boba Fett and Shand after like them being mostly absent for 2 episodes. And you think, oh yeah, we're actually doing a war again. I completely forgot there for a second. Like, this is what's actually going on. So I'm like, and I felt the whole battle just felt very anticlimactic. It was good, don't get me wrong, but also I'm like, eh.
Yeah, I think Boba Fett riding the Rancor was cool, and it's kind of what we were waiting for and expected, because he obviously said he wanted to learn to ride it, and we had the scene that we just hadn't seen from the adverts with the broken street. But yeah, I feel like for being called the Book of Boba Fett, it did very little to actually have an impact on the character of Boba Fett, or do much
in the present
with
day
him.
at least,
Yeah.
Because it's shown how he's been shaped from obviously his defeat, I guess we can call it the Sarlacc pit, to then get to this current time. But I personally would have liked to have seen more of Fett in the present time. Don't get me wrong, the flashbacks were fantastic, but it was too many. It was too long.
I think they could have just had some better flashbacks. Like, I think instead of trying to hide Bane for so long, they could have had flashbacks where he was being trained by him. Like, have Boba be trained or on several different jobs with Bane or, like, other bounty hunters.
I feel like that would have made more sense to have him... Because obviously he's introduced in, obviously, Chapter 6, where he basically shoots Vamp. Then he meets Boba Fett again in Chapter 7. But I feel like it would have been more weight if he was actually trained. Like, or we saw Bane in a flashback somewhere.
Yeah.
If we saw him and Django standing together, that would have made more sense. Then we would think, oh, it's the same guy from all these years ago. Like, I feel like that would have come full circle and made more character impact. Because we, as obviously mega Star Wars fans, we know that Bane trained with Django, and then he trained...
and then he trained Boba.
Yeah, so I feel like we know that. However, I'd say, Amy, you're more of a casual fan and don't obviously spend years reading the wiki, or reading every book.
Years no lifing it.
You may not understand, or may not have known that, essentially. Whereas the episode doesn't really make it clear that much. They obviously mention it's been a long time since they've seen each other, but that phrase in Star Wars is thrown around like sand, so...
So much sand. I hate sand.
Why do you hate sand?
It's just rough.
Because, like, part of my job is, like, doing, like, texturing.
And it's coarse.
It's coarse. It's irritating.
And it gets everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah. But... Because, basically, we work... When you're doing, like, a lot of realistic things with VFX, you, like, work with these giant, like, photo scans, which are literally, like, massive maps of, like, real-world... like textures. It's photo scanned, and then you can also get mega scans, which are like entire objects. You get like entire cliffs and stuff. But basically we were using like these two scans together, and it was like a nice soft, like gentle sound, and then it was like this thing where like all the footsteps been walked over it, and there's just some reason where every time they like combined together they like would look fine, and then you'd come back to the scene and it would have broken. It kind of looked like rocks with like little cracks in it, and I'd just be like, why the fuck are you doing this to me? There's sand everywhere in this fucking show. Stop breaking.
It's like... literally on Tatooine, a sand planet.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, as much as I don't hate sand in real life, CG sand can go take a hike.
I hate sand.
I'm not a massive fan of it in real life either.
No. Love a beach.
I think with the whole flashbacks, I think because they showed him as a kid and then they sort of skipped and went to the Tusken stuff, whereas I think they should have shown him as a kid, then done some flashbacks of him, like, training with some of the bounty hunters, including Bane.
Could have built it into the Clone Wars as well.
Yeah, and then they could have done, like, some of the Tusken stuff, or, like, done his altercation with Bane where they shoot each other in the head, and then have
that made their showdown even more, like, you know...
have more climax
more
to it
impact,
and more impact on the episode. And then they could have had all the Tusken stuff. Because they wouldn't have had to spend long doing the flashbacks for it either. They could have had the same amount of time that they had for all the other ones.
Yeah, especially because The Mandalorian, I feel like, brought like a lot of new fans in, or like more casual fans.
Yeah, definitely.
And so like then having like Boba Fett, which is basically a continuation of the series, is probably like a lot of new fans who like are not invested and don't understand. So then you're trying to have this big impactful character reveal that ends up having like basically no impact.
Yeah, I feel like you hit the nail on the head there, because like the Book of Boba Fett, if we analyse the series as a whole, it does rely on you knowing a lot about Star Wars to understand. Like, obviously you can probably watch it as a new fan up until about chapter 4, because when you get into chapter 5, people will be like, who the hell is this? Like, they don't know. There's going to be people out there who have not watched The Mandalorian, yet will turn onto the Book of Boba Fett and think, oh, you know, I'll give it a try. I reckon as soon as they get to chapter 5, they may get lost and go, what the... Obviously, yes, you can watch it and think, oh, that's who he is, but people are going to be confused for a little bit, especially like, why has he got the magic light sword? What's going on here, you know? And then also when you get to chapter 6, like, who the hell is this guy? Like, what?
Who are all these people that we're seeing? This doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Like, it's really... I feel that's where the storytelling let itself down slightly. This series, now, why I think it's only one season, I doubt we'll get a second season. I really don't think we'll get one. I'll be heavily surprised. It's just going to be like, it's Mandalorian 2.5.
I think it's just used to bring all the characters back into the Star Wars universe and sort of like, it's almost like a kick to get them into future stuff as opposed to actually like do anything itself. It's like a train track direction. It's
also update us on where everyone is currently. They need to give Grogu back to Mando for what they're planning for season 3 of Mando, so... I mean, we still don't know yet. We've not been left with any questions or, like... I think my trouble with, like, the ending to Book of Boba Fett, compared to Mandalorian Season 2, is where do we go from here? There's no, like, pinpoint ending. Like, Mando Season 2, all our heroes were left on the bridge of Gideon's cruiser and Grogu was taken by Luke. Therefore, he's like, what's Bo-Katan going to do? Are they going to go to Mandalore? What's Luke going to do? Is Grogu going to die in Last Jedi? Now, with like Book of Boba Fett, it's like, oh, it's happily ever after. Mando's gone off, to the next final frontier, and the guys on Tatooine is chilling around with a big Wookiee. It's like, well, okay, there's nothing like... I think that's my problem, is there's nothing to talk about now. It's not like we've got a big reveal at the end of, like, say, Crimson Dawn or something like that, or the Cobb Vanth thing wasn't expanded. Then we could talk more about it.
It hasn't really left anything leading, other than maybe the small question of, like, okay, where's Mando going next then?
Yeah.
And, like, I guess, like, what is going to happen to Tatooine? Like, is it just going to continue?
Is Fett and Shannon going to still run it? Because even they say, like, oh, we're not cut out for this line of work. Yeah. I said, well, we could have told you that by chapter 2. To be fair. Like,
it's like, but who's going to do it? We are! It felt like really, like, oh, I hate this, but it's like, because it's been taken over by Disney, it felt very Disney-fied ending, because it was just like, we're all friends together, hooray!
That's one of my issues as well, is I hate to feel like I'm complaining. The mods as well, I like them as characters, but I feel like, again, they were just shoehorned in this episode.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, we're doing it, and Drash, or Drash, however you pronounce her name, had like the thing of like, oh, you actually came to help. It's like she had the 2 lines again. And like, it felt like they introduced the character, then forgot about doing anything with her.
But it's because they had 2 episodes that weren't in the universe, so they
them.
They just missed all of this character development for all of these new characters we were like given.
We had to develop the other characters we know like the back of our hand. We've had Luke Skywalker for almost 40-50 years now. We know a lot about him. Like,
yeah, it's almost like they spent more time on Luke so that they could try and recover like some of episode 8, is it?
Oh, you
Last
mean
Jedi?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of what that was. Kind of just like we're actually going to develop Luke's character as he was younger a bit to lead towards why everything happened in 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah, which makes... I feel like the mods, like, it was a wasted opportunity, because they seem like really interesting characters, and so many Thatcher's Drash, or Drash.
I think I would have made them, like, I would have made all of their modifications a bit more rustic, and, like, they've got this idea of what, like these cool futuristic mods that they want, but they can't because they're on Tatooine, which is, like, a broken down planet, and then they have...
shiny.
Yeah, and then they have, like, some slightly beaten up, rusted, like, speeders that don't look like they're straight from Italy.
Yeah, they were like... I mean, I did argue because like they're like super colourful, which I was like, oh yeah, Teenage Rebellion, because everything on Tatooine is like super dusty, and I'm like, they'd be colourful, but boy, would they be like absolute rust buckets, because have you seen like teenagers who have just like bought their cars, they're like weirdly heavily modified, but they've then got like little bits of rust and stuff in the corners.
Fiesta in a ditch outside somewhere.
Yeah. They also they just completely missed an opportunity to give them some awesome weapons. They gave them like some of these crappiest little tiny blasters.
It's like when she hands over the blaster to the Weequay bloke, he's like, what the...
Yeah, what is this?
What is this? No, but they could have had like heavily modified weapons, because they put a lot like of effort into like the mod shop guy, because like we did like the big like rotating arm thing. Like that's not that's not a physical thing. It's like it cuts off like here, and then all the multi-tools are like completely CG. And so that's like a whole thing, and I'm just like, cool, he has like a really cool set of like tools, and he has like this separate blade, it's got this funky sequence, and then it's just like, and all the other people with modifications look like shit.
Yeah, I think it's weird because they put in all the effort to make it like very obvious and big that Boba has like his fucking knee guns. So why not add cool mods, like one of the mods has like long blades that comes out of their arms, or like has like a rotating handle finger or something that turns into a gun.
Cyberpunk did better. Cyberpunk did better, and that was a shit game.
Like, obviously, it's a very common trope of like blaster shooting from arms.
Yeah.
With mods, that would make sense. Having a hidden blaster.
Yeah, or like something like a platform that lifts up, and then they've got like a shotgun in their arm. Or
but what about the thing in what was it, Mandalorian, and also the Clone Wars? Some of the Mandalorian Death Watch, they have the small shields in their arms. Even hold up. Death Watch have that in their armor. I'm pretty sure Bo-Katan still has that in Mando season 2 as well. Her like Night Owls, they have them in the arms. That'd be pretty cool in mod. Like salvage a unit from a Mandalorian. Wouldn't be uncommon on Tatooine. There's scrap everywhere.
Yeah.
And mount that in an arm or something. That could be really cool.
Yeah.
I will say.
Or just like a metal plate that extends out of their arm.
Black Chrysanthemum, Hero of the Week. That man could take a shot.
Oh, we love Black Chrysanthemum. He's just such a cool character.
I love how they put him in the Trandoshan area as well.
Yeah.
Just to take the piss, ultimately. He's just sort of eyeing everyone up. And he takes multiple hits. Somehow he still managed to get himself out of that entire situation and just keeps throwing them everywhere. It's like...
Yeah, because like when we think he's like in trouble, he's like completely dogpiled by them, and then next thing you know, he's turning up again, limping, and like got some decent looking cuts on him, but just comes back in and starts gunning more people down.
It's mental. I hope we see more of him, and I have a feeling we might as well, to be fair. I think he'll show up in the Kenobi series, because the comic has him in. That's where he got his scar from. He got it from Obi Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, it would make sense to give him that a bit more character development in that scenario. And then obviously they could then add him into like future seasons of Mandalorian, or if the Book of Boba Fett does get another season.
That's why they should bloody have teased Kenobi at the end of it. By now, we should have had a trailer for Obi Wan Kenobi. If it's out in May, which is what rumours suggest it is, we should have had a trailer. At least a teaser. Maybe not a full-blown trailer, but at least a little teaser going, hello there.
Maybe they blew the budget on everything else and forgot about advertisement.
Yeah, actually. Oh my god, I'm so surprised. Like Amy Sedaris was like, "Oh yeah, I've like dated a Jawa." They're like fairy. I was just like, is she gonna go for the Wookiee next? Question mark.
It's like that Maz character from Force Awakens. Where's my Wookiee? No, it's like, where's my boyfriend?
Yeah.
I love that. I think Amy Sedaris' character is like just another excellent addition to like the character set as well. Like, is it Peli or Pilimoto? How do you pronounce it? Love her, especially how she rocks up at the worst moments. Like, hey Manda, look what I got! Oh my god, run away! Just like throwing wrenches at the droid. Go faster! I think my favorite shot is when the like bike thing on gets blown up and you see all of them flying out. I feel like you've got Grogu, Mando, her, the droid as well.
Yeah, I would say I might be wrong, but does it look like Grogu like straight up just kills that droid with the Force to make it stop?
I think he did.
Yeah. There's a lot of things Grogu does.
I wasn't just like seeing.
I thought he basically Force crushed it in a sense.
Yeah, that's what I thought he did.
Yeah. Or he pulled out the leg thing essentially.
Yeah, I thought it was... no, not that one. When they're on the like the robot that's pulling them along.
Oh, the robot that's going fast. Gets to go faster.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he also kills that one.
Does he?
Yeah, because I was watching it and like I just saw his head gets crushed to start with, or like he breaks inwards.
I thought he just got blown up.
And then they all flip.
Oh,
I need to like watch this fight scene again now.
Maybe I'm going
for me,
mad.
One of the
Maybe
scenes
it's me.
I got confused on was like I was discussing with Troy today because he was editing the review. When obviously Boba Fett and Cad Bane have their final standout, obviously Boba gets his bloody boomstick out of nowhere and smacks Cad Bane in the face.
Yeah,
if that's what we're calling it now. And I was like, where did he get that from? So I had to rewind and notice, he then must have picked it up when he went back to get the Rancor. Like that now makes a ton more sense. He didn't have it on him on the first standoff.
Yeah, so I remember when they start talking and they're having the standoff, I saw it and I was like, oh, he's got that on him. Cool.
Now it makes a ton more sense now.
Yeah.
I love how Cad Bane though spent like so many years killing clone troopers to get defeated by a clone.
I mean, it's kind of statistics. Eventually, a clone was gonna kill him if he keeps fighting
clones.
Well,
like his appearance in the Bad Batch, where it's like I've killed so many clones. Once you learn one, they all fall the same. Or like something like that. His entrance, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like he was trained by the clone donor, Jango Fett, then trained his son, who is a clone, only to then get killed by the son, who is a clone.
Yeah.
10 points, my guy.
I think the difference there is that Boba obviously was a clone, but he was a clone from a young age and got to actually grow up in the right speed.
Yeah.
So he had like all that extra time to learn stuff and take things on board.
Speaking about season 2, though, Tem keeps saying that he wants season 2 to deal with a Mace Windu sort of thing. Like he wants a rematch, whether it'll happen.
That would be very cool.
That'd be interesting. But also he wants to play clone troopers as well.
Well, Samuel Jackson's always been down for like coming back to Star Wars, and he's still got his original lightsaber. So
yeah, because he nicked it.
I would.
If I was in Star Wars, I'd nick a lightsaber. It's like when you learn people who nick stuff from sets. I suppose if you're doing VFX, you can't really nick anything. But
no, everyone's just like
I stole the software.
When people like say you work on the film, it's like, oh, so you like do you set or anything? And I was just like, it's not how it works. Like I've literally never I just get like all the live action recordings and I sit there in my little office and I'm like, that looks cool. But there's like so much of it like you wouldn't even believe that's like not even like in like the live action, like just so much of it doesn't actually look that like cool. You have like loads of people like in the back just like holding like a boom or like camera stands, or like it's all like blue screen and you just like watch like the comp artist just like meticulously like cut out little strands of people's hair like from the blue screen so that they can put like whatever the background's supposed to be for that shot. Is mental.
They've been using, I'm not sure if they use it on Book of Boba Fett, but they've got this new technology at the minute for filming stuff, which is an AR wall. So basically they film in this environment and they've got all these screens around it, like LCD screens, and they project like say the environment onto it and such. So that's how they create, that's what Mando does. So like in one of its first episodes, Mando's walking that sort of ice lake area. That's all on AR wall. It's not on obviously location or anything. It's just a giant screen. Cool. But it's not like a traditional green screen or blue screen. It's actually monitors projecting the image, so they can create these environments out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I've
seen
really
them.
Cool. They've used it for Mando season 1 and 2. I'm not sure if they used it for Book of Boba Fett.
From like all the comp and stuff I saw, but that's like only like maybe like 3 episodes, so I don't know. And also like they were quite close shots because like they might be wanting to like expand the budget on like the larger shots where you're seeing more of the like back screen, but like everything we did was blue screen, which I also found interesting because June this year, another sand-based sci-fi, use sand screens because it does actually produce a lot more realistic lighting because of how lighting works. You know, like it bounces off things.
Yeah.
So like if you're in an environment that's all sand, it doesn't make sense to then put something blue behind.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm wondering if sand screen's going to come more of a like an option in like years down for like VFX and seeing it if they use it on Tatooine. It'd be interesting.
Potentially. I don't know. I think one of my favourite bits of this episode obviously was Cad Bane's bit, but also the Rancor moment as well. It's like that was... One thing though, Garth Whip must be dead. I'm disappointed. The sexy Twi'lek is dead.
Yeah.
And also, where's Max Rebo? Is he dead or not?
We need to know because I need another one of his CDs.
Gotta get to the gig. We never had a CD. Now that's what I call...
And that's what I call Max Rebo.
That's what I call War on Tatooine. I've got a fantastic war record. It's Pipes of Peace by Paul McCartney.
New album by Max Rebo. Blow me and blow me now.
Makes sense when the actual music genre is called jizz. So
Walking the bits we can't broadcast. I forgot it was called that now.
He's going to come back as one of the
He's gonna come,
mods.
is he? It's Max Rebo, but modified. Is he going to be remixing his own music then?
Maybe, yeah.
It's synth music now.
He's gonna, as I say, he's gonna get a voice box in so he can like properly sing along.
yeah, it's gonna go to the mod
They
shop,
should
get
have
one
given him. They should have given him a voice, like just to hear him go. Oh man, I got a big gig, man. Please get that guy from Robot Chicken back to voice him. I don't care what it costs. Bollocks to Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano. Get that guy in there.
We just need a Max Rebo like origin series.
Please can like get him walking up to the sanctuary because he's had a day off. He's like, oh man, you blew up a gig, man. Twitter girl's dead over there and the guitar guy's dead over there.
Where's my girlfriend? Oh my gosh, she's crispy.
God, she's dead.
This is worse than the time when I went to that water farm and there were 2 dead skeletons outside all burnt to pieces. Some kid crying in the ground.
It's like, you know, when people do like the KK Slider like parody albums of like real songs, I need like the Max versions of them.
Yeah.
I need the album covers.
I just love that bit. It's like, hit it, Max. I live that clip. We posted it somewhere. I just live through it now because it's just the ultimate clip I could ask for. Okay, so next book. Predictions for what's next in the Star Wars universe. I think obviously you're going to guess Obi Wan Kenobi, so we're going to skip you. What do you think's coming out next?
I'm going to ask a person who's like, I have a base understanding of Star Wars. I don't know. I'm just personally more excited for like more Mando. I think the fact that there were 2 Mando episodes embedded in Boba Fett made me wish I wasn't watching Boba Fett. I know I worked on it, but I made me wish I wasn't working on Boba Fett. I made me wish I was watching Mandalorian. Yeah.
So you know Mando is due for 2023, so we've probably got like another year plus wait for that one, which is a bit of a struggle at this point.
Yeah.
Oh man, I need my fix. I need my Mando fix.
Oh man, the gig. I think Obi-Wan's going to be next. Oh no, I think Bad Batch's going to be next, to be fair. Season 2, then Obi-Wan.
It'll definitely be one or the other.
Yeah. I presume Obi-Wan won't be launching May 4th. I think it's too tight of a window. So probably Bad Batch come May 4th again. Or we could do both. They could do both if they really want to be ballsy.
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe they'll just release it like towards the end of the month.
They have lots of different departments as well. So they'll have like loads of different departments, and like Bad Batch will come under a different department. So it is potential that you might get a live action with the animated because it will be completely different departments working on them. So. Yeah,
potentially. And also we presume there might be another animated series in the works somewhere as well. Because that Tales of the Jedi series, which was rumoured, is, well not rumoured, it's on some Disney press packaging. But it's never been announced. So basically like Disney sent out crew gifts each year to like some top employees.
Yeah, I saw that.
So they sent out this record player to all their employees, and it included all the projects down the side. So like Willow was on it, Andor, Kenobi, and then included ones called Tales of the Jedi. But no one's heard anything about that. There's no been secret announcements, no projects or anything. Because usually if something's coming down the pipeline, we know. But like, you know, Hollywood report or Deadline or report on it, no one knew anything. So when it came to people like, what? And obviously this is a crew gift. They're not just going to print a logo on it for the sake of it.
Yeah.
So now we presume. And this morning I was watching a TikTok. There's Mark Hamill giving an interview, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I would love to see like Luke Skywalker having like Tales of the Jedi or something like that." And it's like,
he said it.
He said
the bit. He said the bit. You heard it.
It's like that GIF thing from was it Leonardo DiCaprio? Whoop, there we go.
It's the name.
I reckon that's gonna be like one of the next series, Tales of the Jedi. I'm not sure if it'll be live action. I reckon it'll be animated because if they want Mark Hamill to voice it, it's got to be animated. Because me and Amy were talking earlier before you arrived about Luke's voice being synthesized, not actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they put like all of this like money into like having like what is essentially a very complicated deepfake. That's the simplest way of putting it. Yeah. But like then they were like, instead of like doing something similar where they like merge like a live actor's face with like old footage, they were like, they have loads of voice recordings of Luke.
Yeah.
You could have like quite easily like synthesized like not just like the audio but then also Mark Hamill's actual voice, so it stops sounding so robotic. Because the problem is with using AI to voice things, they don't have enough emotion.
That's why he sounds so emotionless. I think they easily could have used like Mark Hamill with the program and with the lines they wanted. There must be a way to merge all of that together to create a more refined clip. Because you've got the original voice actor, you just need to like get the program to learn what it should sound like and go from there, and that way you can add emotion to it.
Yeah, like sort of blend it together so that it just has some flow and tune to the voice as opposed to just being quite monotone.
I'm like, you know what has a lot of voice energy? The Scream like TikTok like voice audio.
Oh, that one.
That's well done. That's what they needed.
I mean, for the deepfake thing, they hired a YouTuber to do that like with them because someone obviously made it better. They literally hired that person to do it with them. So
was that? I don't know. I watched the Corridor Crew, who are like another VFX team, like see if they could replicate it, but I'm not sure if they did it better.
No, this was just one guy I think who like basically he updated the deepfake and made it like or lit it differently. Like
lighting is everything.
I was saying to him as well. I think at this point we should just recast Luke Skywalker if they're going to keep using him. At this point, we need an actual actor.
Possibly, yeah.
Because the CGI is good for cameos, but if we're going to do like a whole 20-minute segment like we did for episode 5, at this point, recast.
Yeah, I guess that is why it would make a lot more sense for them to do an animated version of it, especially as they did. Was it the what's the most recent thing I watched? Visions. Yeah, I watched Visions recently, and a lot of those were really, really good. Actually, I really enjoyed them. But apart from that, we haven't got many other like actual animated styles. So I think they've almost done like a test where they've done like gone to all these students and said, okay, do it in your own style. You can sort of create a story along with like these people. Show us what you've got, because then they can kind of just pick and choose like who they want to direct it in and what style they want.
I don't know. I think either way, the future of Star Wars is like really interesting right now because we've got so much stuff in the pipeline. Like Andor's also out this year as well. That's gonna be interesting, showing how that's received.
Maybe they'll have Solo in it again.
That could work because it's a similar time frame. So yeah, they could actually have a younger Han Solo in it. There's plenty of stuff they could do in it. Like I think Star Wars universe is so like expanding with video games and that. We've got Lego Star Wars out this year as well.
Lego Star
I
Wars.
am massive sad of that one. I cannot wait to like do like a gameplay session with everyone to play that one. Because that's out in April as well. So we've got something Star Wars related every month to look forward to. That's why I was thinking we'd get like a new announcement today going, oh, by the way, in March we'll start this. Like we'll take a break and do that. So Star Trek at the minute is every week for 52 weeks practically. I'm busy. But I would like some Star Wars. On one side, I'd like some Star Wars stuff to keep me busy, but also I'm busy enough for Star Trek currently. So if we can have one or the other, or both. It's been a struggle with like Prodigy, Discovery, and Book of Boba Fett or Mandalorian 2.5. So
I think because of COVID, they've been able to like loads of pre-viz stuff. Like really easy, but like obviously they've been like holding off and like shooting a bunch of live actions. That's probably why everything is now just like coming out.
Yeah, the schedules are jammed up essentially, and it's like Star Trek, no one knows where to put it. Currently, we've got too much stuff jammed in the pipeline. Yeah, but it's becoming a bit of like a struggle to like, oh yeah, we could take a week's break, then put it out. Oh, we'll just like give it to you right away, and everyone's like, okay.
Yeah, because of the lockdowns, they're probably just sat in their homes like on call storyboarding like every single story they think of.
We've written 7 seasons of The Mandalorian. Good luck. Well, I mean, unless you have anything else to add, I think that'll be it for today's episode.
No, I don't.
One comment. How is it working with Jon Favreau? Sum it up in one word.
He told me to do the same thing multiple times, but at the end of it, he said it was very cool, so I'll see that as a win.
Chef.
You impressed Fav Daddy?
Who the hell calls him that?
I did earlier, I think. Because they were like... Because I know a lot of people complain that sometimes the lighting is like really dark.
On Cad Bane, yeah.
No, just like
just in general. Okay.
In general, all the night scenes, and I'm just like, that was the choice of Daddy Favreau. That was not our choices.
I think it's kind of stupid though. The night scenes were dark. Really, at night it was dark. Wow, who could have seen that coming?
Well, it's because like with Lord of the Rings, they like light it all like more like blue. But I think because it's like home video, like home watching, a lot of people, you're not necessarily sitting in a dark cave
as well.
And everyone has a different monitor with different color space, and it's just like some people might have not like seen it so well. I
Because on
think
my
that's the
screen,
problem.
I'd say, because I use my monitor for video editing and gaming, so if I've got the color profile changed, I'd say it doesn't seem that dark personally. Then again, naturally, because I've got obviously broken eyes, I have to have brighter settings on anyway, just so I can see details.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, it depends, like you're saying, it depends on color space and things like that.
Yeah, like people will complain probably because of how they have their monitors set up, basically.
I mean, I have quite an old monitor and I didn't have an issue with it.
Yeah, I think it just depends how you see and such.
Glad people like the lighting, always good.
Job done. All right, everyone, thank you very much for watching the Star Wars Now podcast. We'll be back sometime soon in the future, probably when the next project's coming out or we have something interesting to discuss, as we're not sure if we're doing weekly episodes just yet. But Amy, thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure
It's all right.
nerding out on Star Wars, especially behind the scenes as well. It's something we don't always get to talk about, so
True.
it's pretty cool. And Hamish, when do you think we'll be back? Probably when Kenobi or Bad Batch is on air, isn't it?
Yeah, or if we find something else in the meantime to just come on and talk about.
March isn't
even
that
if even
far.
if people just like us coming on and talking about random stuff, we can do that as well.
We'll let you guys tell us that one, so feel free to comment down below so we can keep setting up everything on a Wednesday at the last minute and arriving late to the recording sessions.
We knew I'd be out. I even got an Uber back.
I want food, Hamish. I want food.
I want food, and I'm pretty sure I've got work in 5 minutes. I'm gonna
Have
be
fun.
late. If any of you are seeing this, I'm sorry. This is why I'm late.
Hi, Revs. All right, well, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye bye.